Doodle-oo. Listen, I know Coach Colin is never going to see this video, and that's okay. I only did that out of a sign of respect for him because I appreciate his work. So, if you guys watch this, send it to Coach Colin. So, as you can see from the title of the video, why MAGA is dead and America First is on the rise, I decided to ask ChatGPT the main reasons why people that were in the MAGA coalition are finding themselves leaving MAGA and going to America First. And it came up with some pretty interesting answers. And I feel, as a former MAGA supporter, it's my duty to share them with you. So we're going to go through them one by one. And you guys can drop the comments what you think about each of them. 20 reasons some MAGA supporters say they shifted to America First. Number 1, person versus principles. They felt MAGA became too centered on one individual rather than enduring national principles. I mean, pretty much says it all right there. Donald Trump is not a god. He is not a savior. He is, at this point, as close to an authoritarian dictator as you can get. And the MAGA cult is slurping it up. And I'm going to be honest. I voted for this guy 3 times. And I feel that I was lied to. I was deceived. I was hoodwinked. Whatever you want to call it. I feel like this administration got over on me. I feel like they used my emotions against me. And they did a damn good job doing it. Brand fatigue. Number 2. The MAGA label became polarizing, limiting coalition building with independents or disengaged voters. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. When you are left with 2 choices, MAGA or the Democrats, and absolutely nothing that the Democrats do or say, it seems like it's benefiting the country at all, you're kind of left with one option. And unfortunately, for Donald Trump and this administration, having the executive branch, having the House, having the Senate, they've accomplished absolutely nothing. Number 3, America First seen as broader. America First is viewed as an ideology, while MAGA is seen as a campaign or movement brand. 100%. You don't see any other politicians out there putting their own MAGA gear out there, right? I'm pretty sure Trump trademarked it. So it's his brand. So all the Make America Great Again stuff that we see is just going into his pocket. Meanwhile, America First actually stands for something, right? It's about putting our country and putting our people first, not sending a $900 billion package to Ukraine and Israel, our greatest ally, um, not going and kissing the wall, not worrying about what Miriam Adelson is going to say because she's your biggest donor. America First is America First. It's not 50-year mortgages. It's not calling the affordability crisis a Democrat hoax. It's not calling the Epstein files a Democrat hoax. None of those are hoaxes. It's real. The average American person can't live. They are struggling to survive. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't have $1,000 in the bank to fix their car if their car breaks down. I really feel like these politicians are so disconnected from what's going on in reality that they don't have a clue what it's like to be a regular American anymore. Number 4, disappointment will follow through. Some felt key promises, spending cuts, border enforcement, draining bureaucracy, weren't fully delivered. It's funny how the Epstein files is not in that list because that surely wasn't delivered on. The one thing that I will give Trump credit for is sealing the border. He did shut that down. But the way he's handling this situation with Minneapolis and ICE and these protesters getting killed and Kash Patel coming out saying that you shouldn't be armed at a protest. Listen, it is your Second Amendment right to bear arms. You have that right. You have the right to protect yourself. You have the right to carry, depending on the state that you live in. For him to come out and say that you shouldn't be armed at a protest, I mean, weren't we just cheering for Kyle Rittenhouse? Like, it's so funny how we flipped the script, right? And I don't know if anybody is really paying attention to what's going on in the economy other than they can't afford anything, but the dollar is crashing. So it might be ICE agents now going after illegals. But what happens when me and you can't get money out of the bank? And there's a total collapse of the dollar, which is coming, in case you haven't been paying attention. I think gold hit $114 an ounce today. Gold's well over 5,000. Now, why do you guys think that is? It's because everybody is getting away from the dollar as fast as they can. And Clint from Liberty Lockdown, I'll give him a shout out because I love his work. He said it the best, man. It's like the ship is going down. The politicians know it, and they are looting as much as they can before there's nothing left. And guess who's going to be left holding the empty bag? It's going to be me. It's going to be you. It's going to be the families that we have to provide for. It's going to be our kids. Who knows what's going to be left at the end of this? The one thing that's for sure is They're not trying to fix it. Number 5, opposition to loyalty politics. They rejected the idea that questioning leadership equals betrayal. Let's talk about Thomas Massey or Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think Marjorie has the most conservative voting record out of any member of Congress. And she's the bad guy because she wants transparency on the Epstein files that this administration ran on. And Thomas Massey, the guy who built a homestead, who lived in an RV because he didn't want to waste his constituents' money. He's the bad guy, right? So let's primary the one guy that's actually America first. Let's get him out of office because that's the answer. Why is that the answer? Because he doesn't take money from AIPAC. And if you don't take money from AIPAC, you're not getting into office. It needs to change. It needs to change. Foreign policy consistency. Some felt America First better reflects on non-interventionism without exceptions. Well, I mean, if you listen to Donald Trump prior to getting into office, he ran on no new wars. No new wars. No new wars. No new wars. Now what are we doing? We have gone in, taken Maduro and his wife. We've bombed Iran. And this morning, Danish-Swedish forces were showing up in Greenland because they're afraid that our military is going to move on Greenland, a sovereign country and a NATO ally. Like, what are we doing? And all of you MAGA supporters that are still in Trump's camp, what are you guys thinking? It blows my mind, man. It really does, and like it really upsets me. It upsets me because the cognitive dissonance between some people is just it blows my mind. I don't understand it. What right do we have to invade a sovereign nation, an ally, and just tell them, "Oh yeah, we're going to take Greenland. Yeah, we need it. It's ours." What the fuck? Like what planet are we living on? And how are you guys supporting this? Distrust of political endorsements. Frustration over backing establishment candidates who later governed conventionally. Look, this is going to go straight back to Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey. Trump has basically declared them enemy of the state. And out of anybody in Congress, they are America First's two biggest allies. Movement commercialization. MAGA perceived as overly merch-driven or brand-driven rather than policy-driven. 100%. Anything that says MAGA, all that means is you support Donald Trump. That doesn't mean you support our country, doesn't mean you support American values. It means you support him, his coalition, his administration, and whatever it is that they're doing, which is fucking up. Younger voter appeal. America First is seen as more adaptable to younger generations focused on economics and sovereignty. How about the younger voters that Charlie Kirk turned out to vote for this election? How about the younger voters that Charlie Kirk Charlie Kirk turned out to win this election for Donald Trump? Because that's what made the difference, right? That work that Charlie put in made the difference and got Trump elected into the White House and put this administration in place. And when it came to bombing Iran, it was Charlie Kirk who went to the White House and told Trump that this is a bad idea. We can't do this. We can't have another war. Where's Charlie now? Where's the investigation into what happened to Charlie? Whether you believe Candace and her theories, whether you believe Valhalla or John Bray or Trigger Smart or Ian Carroll or Ian Went or Baron Coleman or Bobby Sauce, any of these guys that are doing commentary on what's going on, right? The one thing that all of us know for sure is that the official story is bullshit. They're completely lying to us. He wasn't shot with a 30-06. It would have blown his head off. And nothing made sense. None of it makes sense. You have Erica Kirk going out there saying, I forgive him. Now applying for a speedy trial because all of the financials from Turning Point are under the gun. I wonder why. Maybe it's because her parents are DOD connected. Her father is part of Raytheon Israel and creating the Iron Dome. Her whole past is a lie. Maybe it's because she was Charlie's handler. Maybe she was placed in his life. Maybe their relationship wasn't as real as it seemed. Maybe Charlie found out. Give me a second here. Let me see if I could pull this page back up. Okay. Economic nationalism clarity. America First is viewed as more explicit on reshoring, labor protection, and anti-corporate globalism. But in case you guys don't follow Ian Carroll, you probably should. Ian has been around for a little bit now, and I have watched him from his start. And Ian's phrase is always follow the money, right? Follow the money. Well, in case you guys don't know, our government is subservient to these multinational corporations. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, These are the guys making all the decisions. Trump's donors, Miriam Adelson. These are the people that are making the decisions. The entire illusion of our votes mattering is a lie. They're two wings of the same bird. And it doesn't matter if you put a Democrat in office, you put a Republican in office, no matter what, none of them are going to have the best interest of the American people at the top of their list. The top of their list is what the donors want. And what's good for the donors usually isn't good for us. I tried so hard to not turn my back on this administration. I had so much hope when RFK got in there, when Tulsi got in there, when Cash got in there, when Bongino got in there. And these guys have done absolutely nothing. Why would Cash Patel flip out when Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard were investigating foreign involvement into Charlie Kirk's assassination? Because if you don't know, it turned into a giant blow up at the White House. And there's plenty of news reports to cover it. Does that make sense to anybody? Do 50-year mortgages make sense to anybody? Does that feel like it's going to solve the economic crisis? I'm very, very scared for the direction that our country is heading. And however you feel about what's going on in Minneapolis right now, I want you guys to understand something. That right now it's illegal immigrants that they're going after, supposedly. But pretty soon it's going to be whoever's labeled a domestic terrorist. The guy that was shot, Alex Petty, an ICU nurse at a VA. Regardless of what you think, the man was disarmed on all fours and shot in the back of the head. I put Trump in office to get rid of illegals, not for American citizens to die. So the Trump administration better change their tactics, because it's only going to get worse. And the groundswell of support that's rising up against ICE and against immigration and against border control and against the administration, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know Trump's got a point to prove, because he feels like he didn't do enough during George Floyd. But this is not the way, brother. This is not the way. Killing American citizens on the streets is not the way. And for all you guys saying, F around and find out, well, it's going to be us saying F around and find out when the surveillance state is turning around and pointing at us. And I'm labeled a domestic terrorist because I'm criticizing Trump. Or I'm labeled a domestic terrorist because I'm criticizing our greatest ally. You guys better wake up, man. Because this train is going full speed off a cliff. And if we don't do something soon, you're going to be looking at the fall of Rome. You guys remember when Netanyahu was just talking about what somebody asked him what book he was reading? And he said, "Oh, it's a book about Rome." And somebody asked him, "Well, why are you reading that?" And he's like, "Well, we lost to him last time." Who do you think is Rome in today's day and age? It's us. So what do you think he meant by that comment? I don't know what it's going to take to wake you guys up. And the murder of Charlie has 100% inspired me to start using my voice, because that's what he was killed for. He was killed for using his voice. That 31-year-old was killed after being loyal to this administration to a fault. He was gunned down in cold blood, and we'll never get a real answer as to what happened to him. Why? Because the man that he worked so hard to get into office is covering the entire thing up. Patel needs to go. Bondi needs to go. Bongino's already gone. Hegseth needs to go. They all need to go. We need to get people in office that want to fix what's going on here at home and don't think that it's a reality show. Because the reality of it is Americans are struggling. Americans can't live. Americans can't afford anything. And they want to know why nobody's having kids. It's because nobody can afford it. Nobody can afford to have kids. That's your population crisis right there. And if I were to put my tinfoil hat on, which I have somewhere in the room, maybe it's on purpose. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe that would solve the population crisis that they think we're having. Maybe the goal was to make it too unaffordable for us to have kids. I could tell you what, though, that is not what the founding fathers believed in. That's not what American values believe in. That's not what the Constitution believes in. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And everybody deserves to have a family. And everybody deserves the opportunity to have a family. And if you can't have a family because you can't afford it, then something is very wrong. That's all I got. I appreciate it. In case I didn't say it, my name is Ricky. Name of the channel is America First. FTR stands for F the Rest. I'll be back later. Have a good one.